Good evening, lovely people of YouTube. I'm at vdjomb, and I am back with my lovely friend Mark for some more fortnightly fisticuffs. Sorry it's been so long since we've last done one. Life's got in the way, and now suddenly a pandemic.
Yeah.
But that's not going to stop us. So say hello, Mark.
Hello, I am in my hermetically sealed chamber, sitting on a throne made of toilet paper and dry pasta.
Nice. I'm currently down to my last ration of boiling the bag rice, and I'm about to don my post-apocalyptic apparel. After playing this, of course, to go and do some raiding. Not
Mm.
video game raiding, actual raiding of any stores that might actually have some supplies. So this should be fun. We both said you've played this before on the PS4, is that right?
Yeah, just a couch co-op with my other half of I don't know, a year or so ago, maybe a bit more than that. It's been a long time, but
I've
it's
I,
not a complicated game.
no, I've played it. I've played it on the Vita. The reason we didn't start when we quite expected to was I thought I had this on the PS4, and as you
Mm.
can see from the big logo screen, it's the edition. That's not all confusing. Edition Plus. So the version that was given, I think, away with PlayStation Plus was the PS3 and PS Vita version, and this is a different version. So it's just cost me £3.99, and I do remember it being a lot of fun. And as it shows on there, hold any two buttons to configure controller. Okay, that didn't work. Why is it not saying if you're using two-button controller, enable two-button menu mode in the options? Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, you can just go into the options and select control, and then it just lets you set the two buttons that you're going to be using.
Ah, right. So, yeah, as it kind of mentioned on there are only two buttons. And you can choose which those two buttons are. Oh, we've got some settings for game settings, online settings. GGP, oh, that's delay for frames. I wondered if there was amount of rounds we could set or anything. Controls. Dive. So let's go with X, and for kick, we'll go with square. Excellent. So that's it. Don't need any directions, don't need to know any weird and wonderful moves. It's literally those buttons.
Well, every character has like their own sort of unique quirks. Like there is more depth to this game than may meet the eye.
Yeah, there
But each
definitely
character
is.
handles slightly differently. They have their own particular sort of little quirks. When we're in there, you'll notice like there's like two letters. You've got like an A and a G.
Yep.
And so like when your A meter is filled, hitting dive and kick while in the air will do something special.
Yep.
And if your G meter is filled, pressing dive and kick when you're on the ground will do something special.
That's correct.
And the only other thing is like if you get knocked out with a, because it's one hit kill. If you get hit with a headshot, you start the next round, like you lose all of your meter and you start the next round concussed, so
Yep.
for a few seconds you'll be moving a bit slower. But apart from that, like there's not too much to know. It's definitely going to be like the most straightforward fighting game we've ever played.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's pretty much the case. I'm just scrolling through the menus. Mark Man's in there, who is one of the guys who is very heavily involved in the Tekken scene and was one of the guys who was head of Mad Cats before it kind of disappeared. But he does a lot of the shoutcasting for a lot of the Tekken stuff, and he did used to run a lot of the fighting tournaments and things. So that's going to be interesting. Oh yeah, he was the one I used. Uncle Sensei was the guy I used when I played it a lot on the Vita.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. So let's see how we get into the online and see how this works.
I guess there's a few of these characters that are references to other things, like Johnny Gatson. Obviously, that's from Saints Row, and the Fencer is from Nidhogg.
Right. Yep.
But
Right. Oh yeah, cost. Yeah. Which I don't think any of those were in the Vita or PS3 version.
Okay.
I don't think Markman was in the PS3 version either. I think he was added in the PS4 version. Sent you an invite. I've done it as a private party at the moment because I don't quite know how it works with how it would work with a public one. But we'll go as a private lobby and then we can see what happens from there. This should be fun.
Is this a button jack? Select your gems.
Oh yeah, and there's different kinds of gems, isn't there? For
Yeah, I don't know how they work.
well, one of them is a one-kick one. Which one is it?
Plus, what is
That's
it?
it. All persons sudden death. So yeah, the YOLO gem is the only live once. The others it isn't one-hit kill. If you go,
Select your duds.
oh, we can select costumes. I didn't realise that. Let's go with that. So, okay, this is going to be fun. I've never played Nihog.
Yes.
Do you not? Oh, it's
No.
really good. It's
Round one. Dive kick.
Oh,
I didn't know you could do that.
Round
Yeah, it's a fencing game basically. Like you two people face either side, and you're like trying to get to the other side to get swallowed by.
oh, you got me again in the air. Nicely done.
You have to fight your way to the other end, and you get swallowed by a giant worm.
Yeah.
But it's just a fencing game. You run each other like you can fence and you can throw your sword, but you can throw your sword and lose it, then you haven't got anything to fight with. It's real good. It is kind of like a fighting game in a way.
Gotcha.
Round 5. Dive kick.
Headshot.
Round 6. Dive kick. Double kick.
Double headshot.
Tasty. Oh man, what a comeback.
Pulling it back now.
Dive kick.
Oh, I thought I'd got you.
Oh.
Nicely done.
Right on the shins.
Round 8. Dive kick.
I created a portal. You came through and hit me. That was brilliant. Oh, that was fantastic. Very, very nicely done. That'll teach
Okay,
me
you
for
get
throwing
a,
a portal.
You get a rank for not losing.
It's got a character select as well.
Select your character. I'll win by deduction or contradiction.
Might as well wait through. There's a lot more characters than I expected. I know it's an additional edition, but you're sticking with the YOLO gem, aren't you? There's a.
I know. I didn't use it last time. I used the yellow gem whenever.
I thought you went for the YOLO one.
No.
Oh, might help if I actually pick my character.
So are you familiar at all with Iron Galaxy, the guys that made
From
that?
above.
No, not really.
Fraud detection.
So
Fraud detection warning.
Round.
you may be familiar. Have you ever watched any of like the Giant Bomb's like E3 coverage stuff?
Yeah.
You know how they always used to have like so they always use like the Giant Bomb at night thing in the evening.
Dive kick.
At E3, and on the last night, the last segment would always be these three guys, Adam Boyes from who used to be Sony, Dave Lang, and John Vignocchi, who's now at Nintendo.
Round 3.
So those three all worked together at Midway back in the 90s,
Nice.
and so they kind of came up on making fighting games.
Right.
And then Dave Lang went off and founded this studio, Iron Galaxy.
Right.
Oh! And he's nice. And he took quite a lot of I used the YOLO thing, didn't I? That's what
Yeah.
it means.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. So you don't all your rounds don't count. So you can get all those wins.
If it is.
is that you can win straight away. Oh no, because that didn't work, did it?
No.
It didn't win straight away.
I need
That's
to
a
have a
good
look
point.
at that. Yeah, so anyway, so yeah, Dave Lang was a veteran of Midway anyway from forming this like studio Iron Galaxy, and then yeah, they made this game with lots of former Midway stuff. So like there is
right.
there's a lot of fighting game pedigree in here.
Yeah.
Select your gems.
Well, they've done like a sequel, haven't they? That's like the next step to fighting game. I can't remember what it's called. I think it was a PC only one. I'm sure they went off and made like another basic fighting game that adds like having controls in it, but you don't have any of like the super moves. You don't have to pull off.
I think I know the one you mean. If it's just, I don't think that's Iron Galaxy.
It might not be Iron Galaxy. Oh, ankle tap.
Yeah, so this guy's weird. Like, so I've got a double jump, and when I'm in the air, the kick button's actually a back kick. I have to.
Yeah.
I have to press both buttons in the air to actually kick, which means I don't have an air meter.
Little hop up there and got you. Oh, I deserved that. I thought I could get another kicking on you. They cost me. Oh, press the wrong button! Oh, I deserved that! I should have had you twice!
Oh god, that got me close.
Well done. Ankle tap
knee.
again. Oh, was it knee? It looked like his ankle. Oh, is that double KO? Nice, I didn't know you could do that.
No.
Oh, got you in the bonds.
Nice.
Yeah!
Oh. I should have been getting methodical. Let me start.
Don't say nothing. Select your jewels. Select your duds.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Nice. So what's the supermarket situation like up by you?
It has been pretty mental.
Yeah.
I think it's been pretty mental everywhere. Some people are going to be seriously shocked when, the bulk buying of all these toilet rolls comes to naught, and people have got to try and shift 400 toilet rolls because the stores have managed to get them back in.
Yeah.
It annoys me. The greediness and the selfishness is winding me up. Gotcha!
Oh.
I think that's it. A shot to the pills.
So my other half is working today, and her
Another one to the
office
pills.
that she was working at, she overlooks Morrison's, not
Right.
Waitrose, that's nearby. And she said that she was in there, she starts work quite early, and she was looking out a window. She could see people queuing up to get into the Waitrose before it even opened.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Oh, how is that not a headshot?
It was a headshot, wasn't it?
Oh, what? I didn't get the headshot thing to pop up on the screen.
It popped up on mine. Oh, double! Oh, nicely done. Nicely done. Yeah, it's not helping people all cramming together either, because
No, it
you're
really
basically creating viral hotspots.
So I went
Absolutely
up to
stupid.
our local, like, big out-of-town shopping centre earlier just to pick a Mother's Day card, and I parked in that Waitrose that my other half could see from her office, and I went in just to see what the situation was like there. And it was it'd just been stripped bare. No meat, no veg, hardly any fruit or anything. No toilet roll, no pasta, no rice, no tinned tomatoes. Whole thing's a bit crazy. And then I went into the actual shopping centre area it was itself, and I was like, the Boots there was only letting 10 people in at a time, and so there was like a queue outside, and it was like a sort of like one in, one out sort of situation with like a security guard on the door. Most of the other shops were shut. Ooh, right in the gut.
Look how you bound.
Yeah, lots of the other shops were shut, and then the ones that were open were just a ghost town.
Yeah.
Like the Super Dry shop was empty. And went into Card Factory, and that was pretty busy in there. But I think there was just like lots of people like me getting a last minute Mother's Day card.
Oh bollocks! Nicely done.
And yesterday I went to local Lidl and my local Aldi, and they were both like stripped bare, pretty much everything. Managed to get some frozen vegetables and a few other little bits and pieces, but they had kitchen roll, but of course no toilet paper. They got boxes of tissues, but they were limited to like one per person.
We've been trying to get hold of a thermometer. They're absolute nightmare to get hold of. We had 2 in the house. Yes! We had 2 in the house, one from when I was poorly and one from when Nathaniel was a baby. I found the one from when Nathaniel was a baby and it wouldn't turn on, so I was like, right, I'll go buy some batteries then. So I got some button batteries, still not working. So I think the LED or a chip in it's knackered. But we have got a second one, but we don't know where it is. So I'm literally I think it might be in the spare bedroom somewhere, so we need to sort the spare bedroom out. So I think that's my job for tomorrow. Is try and track down the thermometer.
Like one of those ear thermometers?
No, it's just an under the tongue type job.
Oh, so but like digital. Okay.
Yeah, yes, it's not very big. It's not an old Mercury one.
No.
I got 7 backwards caps, and they're all the same color. Select your choice.
So I made the mistake earlier this week of rewatching Contagion.
Oh, is that the remake of Quarantine? Is that the remake of the French or Spanish one?
No. Contagion was the one that was like a sort of like kind of fairly realistic-ish. Obviously, it's based on a fake virus. But like they had like people from the CDC and other epidemiologists on staff. It's the one with Matt Damon and Gwyneth Paltrow. Oh my god, her thing is, I don't like that at all.
Yeah, she's definitely more. I shouldn't have jumped. She's more good for the air.
Yeah. But no, it's like a probably the closest representation in film you're going to get to what a actual serious pandemic. We're talking like 20% fatality rate.
Yeah.
Pandemic sort of thing. And it just made me even more uncomfortable and anxious.
Yeah.
So I can't recommend that.
What is that Spanish one then that's set? It's all done as first person.
It's called Wreck.
That's it.
REC.
Fucking fantastic is that film.
Yeah, the Spanish one's great, and then the American remake is awful.
That was a good gig. The Spanish version is it's terrifying.
What does that mean?
I think it thinks you're cheating, but I'm not sure.
Detection averted.
That was weird.
Yeah, I can't remember why it does that.
Then, oh, I see someone in the background's holding a sign up that says Free Iron Galaxy. Oh, nice! So yeah, and then on Thursday, I couldn't bring myself to watch Question Time. I watch Question Time every Thursday.
Yeah.
But it's just been nothing but coronavirus for the last 2 weeks.
They've moved it though, haven't they? They moved it to like
Choke detection
It
warning.
was like earlier in the evening, and like no studio audience. Oh man!
Oh, I shouldn't have jumped into that. That was so stupid. Oh, that was foolish.
So yeah, I decided to watch something far more uplifting instead, and I finally got round to watching the HBO miniseries about Chernobyl.
Oh, any good?
Fucking hell!
You've really picked him, haven't you?
Yeah, I know. I need to like start watching some uplifting stuff. It's really good, but man, it's dark.
Have you seen the new Twilight Zone yet? Have you seen any of that?
It's Jordan Peele, right?
I'm not overly sure. It might be.
I think it's Jordan Peele who's running it.
It's very good. Very good. The one my favourite so far has been the Mission to Mars one, because it starts with them on a launch pad, just as a nuclear strike occurs from North Korea, and they have to decide whether to leave or stay.
Okay.
If they stay, obviously they are going to be obliterated. If they leave, they may be the last humans alive. And it's really good. I don't want to say anything about it, but it's been my favourite of the ones. Then there's the one that I actually had to turn off, was to do with I don't know if it was a virus, but it was causing sudden male violence, and it was really a hard watch. I'm like, I don't like this. But some of the others have been a little bit more silly. Obviously still quite dark, but a little more silly with it. So yeah, I'd definitely recommend giving that a watch.
Okay. Yeah, it's narrated by and co-developed by Jordan Peele, who was part
of course.
Key and Peele, and then he did Get Out, and there was that other film he did.
Yes, of course it is. Yeah.
Was it called Us? The film he did? I can't remember. I haven't seen Get Out yet. Ooh.
Nor have I. Someone at work was talking about it after it had been on BBC. She said, "Man, that's a good film." Oh, nicely done. Yeah, I watched Hot Air with Steve Coogan, which was alright. It was a bit American shock jock.
Is that his? Oh right, it's not his new film, is it?
Well, I think it's this Guy Cinema-y. No, it's not him. I think that's called Rich or something like that.
Yeah, he's like basically Philip Green in that one, I think.
Yeah.
Right, you couldn't say at the moment anyway. I think all the cinemas are closed.
Yeah. Well, it's good to see the companies aren't missing out by charging you 25 quid to rent it and things.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh.
Ronda. That was nice. Trying to use my super and you just got me in the bonds. Oh, I shouldn't have jumped up for that. Nicely done. Good win.
And then the wellies on his hands, he's got socks.
He's got socks. Exactly. And I also watched a Doom. Is it Doom Annihilation? It's like a new Doom film.
They made a new Doom film?
Yeah, that was my sentiments exactly. It was like, there's a new one?
Oh wow, I know that the old one's on Netflix at the moment, because we're going to record an episode about it, so I need to get that watched again. I didn't know they'd made a new one. Is that like a tie-in for the new game?
I don't know actually, because I haven't played the new game. I don't know if it is called Annihilation. But
I never finished June 2016.
Ah, I didn't either. I think I've still got it somewhere. It's another one I haven't tried.
I've got it on 2 platforms, because I bought it on PS4 and then it came out on Game Pass on Xbox as well, and I haven't finished it on either of them.
Yes, from above.
I did finish Spider-Man, and I've finished the first DLC
Okay.
now, and I've really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. Oh! Yes! I'm on the starting the second DLC. I was actually really pleasantly surprised by the first DLC.
Oh, nice. Yeah, her floaty dive is hard to predict, isn't it?
Yeah, and she's quite high with it as well.
Oh no!
It's got some weird range on it and all.
Yeah.
It's so kind of counterintuitive if playing with two buttons, because you want to be ducking and like backstepping and stuff, and you can't do any of that.
Fraud detection warning.
Oh!
Detection averted.
Oh, have I got a giant
Have you
head
got
now?
a massive head? What's happened there?
Yeah. No!
How come you got a massive head? What's happened
I
there?
have no idea. There's a lot about this game that doesn't need to make a lot of sense.
How odd. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I've watched anything else. Been watching Homeland. I've been really enjoying that.
Okay.
I love Homeland. I think it's a fantastic series.
I watched it up until... Right, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't watched it. I watched it up until... what's his name? The main sort of...
The way he exited, is that when you watched it?
After he exited, like, and it carried on, and I was like, this doesn't feel quite the same, and then I dropped off.
It does. It was. They had a real weird pacing issue with it, where a lot of stuff happened in the first episode, and then it kind of slow build, and then you get a lot in like the last few.
Yeah.
The last couple of series have been slightly better with their pacing. But yeah, after what's his name? I'm wanting to call him Riley. It's not Riley.
I'm trying to think of the actor's name.
Damn it! British actor, isn't he?
Yeah, he was like the main character in.
Nicely
Band
done.
of Brothers, wasn't he? He
Yes.
was Winters in Band of Brothers. Oh God, his name's I can't remember his name now. He's in he's in that film about he plays a billionaire. He's with Phil Giamatti playing someone from the FBI or something. He's investigating him. It's supposed to be quite good. Billions.
I don't think I've seen that.
Oh, I just stood there and watched that come at me.
Cut for 2-footed hands to the face.
Oh, nice.
Oh, gotcha!
Nice.
Yeah, I haven't found a character I think I really like yet, that I've kind of got the measure of.
No.
Let's go with Big Man. I haven't had a go with him yet.
I haven't been listed yet.
YOLO, my ninjas.
Select your duds.
YOLO, my ninjas. Let's stick him in big.
Yeah, the only stuff I've really been watching recently is like
Round one. Kick.
just nonsense on YouTube, but also like that's
Nicely
weird.
done.
And yeah, still catching up on
Kick.
RuPaul's Drag Race, all seasons of that. And I need to I need to get on season 3 of Castlevania.
I've
first two
still not
seasons are
seen
amazing.
any of that. I've still not seen any of that.
Oh, it's real good. Oh,
I've
timing that
watched
dive wrong.
about a couple of weeks ago. I ended up watching the pandemic program on Netflix, which I kind of wish I hadn't, because that was basically saying this is coming. We've dodged a bullet with SARS, we've dodged a bullet with MERS, Ebola was a close call, but the next one's around the corner, and then a couple of weeks later you're like, oh shit, it really is. Nicely done. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, Walking Dead, but that's because we've been watching that since the day dot, and it has actually finally started to really kick up a gear.
Is that show ever going to end, do you reckon, or is it just going to...
I think it's going to be when most of the cast have died off due to the American healthcare system.
Yeah, that's true. Is Andrew Lincoln still in it?
No.
Okay, so...
But spoiler alert, for anyone who is watching it or plans to watch it, he isn't dead. So there is possibility, and I think there's supposed to be a film, which was supposed to be coming out at some point this year, and obviously I don't think that's coming out anytime soon now. That explains what happens to his character, to Rick.
Right.
No, it's been good. It's had some really, really interesting extra actors and actresses in it. It's had Samantha Morton, who is incredibly menacing in it, and it's had Thora Birch, who was in the last thing I'd seen her in was American Beauty. Just like bloody hell, because she was the daughter of the president. No, not the president. The Harrison Ford's character in the Clear and Present Danger in Patriot Games.
Right.
That was his daughter in that, and then she was like a teenager. She was young in those. Then she was like a teenager in American Beauty, and that's like the last thing I've seen her in. Oh, my head's got bigger. Is it because I won one? Is that why?
Yeah. Maybe.
Makes it easier for you to hit me, then I'm guessing.
Disqualified!
I didn't connect there. That was so annoying.
Round 5, Divekick!
Oh, how could you miss my head? It's huge.
Round
I thought it would go down when she'd lost another one.
Yeah, I was hoping it would, but... Oh, damn that right. Oh, it's got even bigger! My head's gonna be bigger than my body!
Oh no!
The size of my head!
Disqualified!
How could you not hit that head? How could you not hit that? Oh, that was crazy!
Who is that guy?
The guy shouting disqualified?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if he's some kind of shoutcaster or some kind of like referee at tournaments or something like that.
Could be, yeah. What's his name again? Jafali, right.
It's not like Jeff Bailey or something like that, is it?
I'll enjoy raining on your parade.
Yeah, this guy, you doing the big swings with him was really good.
He's based on Alex Jabali.
Mm.
Who is...
Is he a shoutcaster or a ref or someone?
CEO of CEO Gaming, Global FGC Director for DreamHack. CEO DreamHack. Yeah, he does like fighting game stuff.
Right, yeah.
So I'm guessing he's like a friend of Dave Lang.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, from above. Round 1, Divekick!
Nathaniel and me have been playing the Sonic game.
Which one?
The new one that was with PlayStation Plus. It's actually not bad. It surprised me.
Which? Oh,
Sonic Forces.
I know. Yeah, yeah. So got a real. I hated Sonic back in the day. I thought it absolutely sucked. I still think those old Sonic platforms. I don't like the level design. Nice.
You're wrong.
I know, no, but I do really like Sonic Mania, which is like if someone designed an old school Sonic game but made it good. And it's genuinely brilliant. I really enjoyed that. Hate all the 3D Sonic games, but I don't think anybody really liked those 3D Sonic games that much. But Sonic All-Stars Racing and Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed were like the only oh, nice. Were the only non-Mario Kart karting games I really dug.
Transformed is fantastic. It's really playable.
He walked into that. I never really got on with Crash Team Racing. I never really liked the what's the one Media Molecule made? The Little Big Planet karting game. I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, I never got on with any of those, but like Sonic All-Stars and Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed, I thought were absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Still play them, like they're really good. And then they brought out a new one recently, and it's like it's kind of cool. Like I played a bit of the EGX the other year, and it's a cool concept. It's like it's a team-based one, so it's not just how you do individually. It's like how you do as a team. But they took out all of the All-Stars characters.
Oh no!
So it's just Sonic characters. So there's no more like there's no Samba de Amigo, and there's no like Billy Hatcher and the dude from Crazy Taxi and all those those cool characters they put in the other one, which I thought was like one of the best aspects about like they got rid of it all, so I'm not interested in it. I'll just continue to play All Stars Racing Transformed because it still holds up. Like it's much faster than Mario Kart, apart from like 200cc mode on Mario Kart, which is huge. But, I really dig it. I really like that game.
Oh, this guy's dreadful. He's not going in any direction I want him to.
No,
he's got like a weird.
Quite hard to use.
He's got like a jump that's not a kick. It's got height, but that spin's dreadful.
I think it's like you have to
properly.
I think there's a difference between like tapping and holding the kick button with him.
Well, it seems like a jump backwards.
Yeah.
It's like a evasive rather than offensive. Oh no, you screwed downwards! That was no use to me. I needed it coming straight at your head. Oh, nice. Got you then. Oh, got you on your toes again. Ah, okay, right. So, if I tap kick again, it changes direction. Right, okay.
Hello.
Nicely done.
So this guy's that guy's a Tekken shoutcast, did you say?
Yes. Yeah, he does a lot of the well toast stuff. But he was one of the main guys at Mad Catz. His fight stick collection is absolutely crazy. He did a couple of, it'd have been probably early last year, he ended up selling off a load of his old fight sticks, and he had some amazing ones. Obviously working for Mad Catz, he had all sorts of their old and new, or newest ones, but he had all sorts of tournament ones and all sorts. It was just like, Jesus Christ. But he's also mad on trainers as well, so he's got quite an extensive trainer collection. Yeah, he's been involved in the fight game scene for probably a couple of decades, I'd say.
Yeah.
Select your cheers.
Did you end up picking up that fight stick?
Your
Then?
nuts.
No, can't afford it really at the moment, but I think we'll see. I may well treat myself. I definitely do want a new one. That's
Could be a nice
PS4
post-pandemic treat.
compatible. Yeah, that's it. We'll see. Half of me was hoping I'd get stuck in 12-week lockdown, but I found out thankfully my immune system should be
Fraud detection warning.
should be back to normal, so I shouldn't have to worry too much,
Detection averted.
which is a good thing. I'm not at any greater risk than anyone else, but it's still concerning. I don't really want to.
Gem makes you like move faster.
It's 30% something increase, isn't it?
Oh, nice.
Use the super.
Round 4. Divekick.
Oh, nice. Can't get
Teleport
near you.
out the way.
Choke detection warning. Choke detection warning.
But that's because if I get hit now, it's game over. Oh no!
Oh no!
What happens there then? What?
Double KO. Ah, nice.
Choke
Yes.
Nicely done.
I shall unleash rebalance upon this world.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look up all these people out there because I guess a lot of this is probably gonna be like in jokes.
Yeah.
Somebody
I
carry
don't
me.
think I've
I'm
used
gonna
him
slap
yet.
some sense into you.
Direct your brain.
I've treated myself to a few games over the last
Direct
like
your nuts.
actually over the last day. I bought 3 games.
Cool.
Well, I pre-ordered Animal Crossing a little while ago, so that arrived yesterday. And then I was just like flicking around on the Nintendo store, and they'd got the Final Fantasy VIII remastered. It's not really remastered; it's just like the PC port
Yeah.
of Final Fantasy VIII, so it looks a little cleaner. It was like £6 on the Switch.
Wow.
That's my favourite Final Fantasy, so I picked that up. And then a little indie game that I've got on Mac that I'd quite like to have on Switch, called Piku Niku, was down from like £12 to 85 pence.
Oh,
So,
bloody hell.
no brainer, really.
Oh, Zeb, that. He seems like he's the good version of the weird spinny devil blurky.
Kenny.
Oh, he's got other moves there.
Round 4. Divekick.
I wonder how much one of those dive kick controllers is.
I bet they're expensive. Pointlessly expensive. I bet you can knock your own up quite quickly.
Oh yeah, it's easy to make your own, I guess, yeah.
Divekick.
Oh, deserved that.
Round 6. Divekick.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna, as soon as I've finished the
Oh, nice.
the DLC for Spider-Man, I'm probably not gonna go back and go for the platinum to get by doing a second playthrough. But oh, missed it.
Oh, nice one.
Gotcha. But
So
I think I might
Round
start God of War.
The deal. Oh, nice. Yeah, that is a cracking game. So the DLC for Spider-Man's all to do with like the definitely not Catwoman
Yeah.
character, right?
With it, yeah, it's Black Cat who's in
Black
the
Cat,
main
yeah.
story anyway, but it's like a continuation of his relationship with her. It's a lot deeper than I anticipated. Have you finished the main story yet?
No.
I won't say much then, because
No, I got I got to the point where it's like I feel like I'm reaching like the 3rd act of the story.
yeah,
You ready for this?
So I decided not to play in the main story anymore. I was like clearing out all the like the gang
Yeah.
hideout stuff. And then I got distracted by something else came out or whatever. And then I loaded it up a couple of times, and I'd like, the save point was inside one of those gang strongholds, and
Yeah.
it was like a tough one against the like Mr. Negative henchman.
Yeah.
And like I was like, I can't quite remember all the intricacies of the fighting system,
Yeah.
and so I got bodied, and there's no way out of that area.
Yeah.
So I will go back and finish it. I really want to finish it because I was thoroughly enjoying that game.
I set myself up multiple. You should be able to quit the mission there. You should be able to leave
Yeah, I should be
the
able to,
mission
yeah.
you're on. I think there's an option to kind of abandon missions. If you're struggling with it, abandon the mission, go off and go off and explore and get your skills back, and then go back to it.
Yeah.
Fraud detection warning.
Round 5 Divekick.
Oh no!
Detection
averted.
averted.
Yeah.
Round 6 Divekick. Headshot.
Oh.
I keep
That guy's
keep
fast.
wanting to jump on
Round 7
what's it called? Shadow of the Colossus, because I only ever played a bit of that on the PS2.
Oh really?
Yeah, yes, I've never fully
man.
played it. Nicely done.
I haven't. Cheers. I haven't gone back and played that game in a long time. Yeah, I'm interested to play this remake. See what it's like. But I played.
Well, I think I've got the remastered Ico and Shadow of the Colossus on PS3 somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's PS3 or
You'll
something.
never diagnose me with economy class syndrome.
But yeah, I never ended up playing it. I think I started it and I was like, oh, I'm not in the mood for this, and just couldn't get into it.
Select your nuts.
But I quite fancy, giving it a crack. See what I think to it. At the moment, I'm trying to find things to play with Nathaniel. We've been playing. What have we played? He's been playing some of the Spider-Man, but trying to avoid him doing any of the fighting stuff. But he really likes the swinging around and exploring. Oh, you jumped over me! Gotcha.
Oh, nice.
Doing the Lego ones, which I keep kind of dipping in and out of. Been doing Disney Infinity as well. I've managed to get that installed again, so we've been having a bit of a play on that. Which it's a lovely concept, is Disney Infinity. It's just a shame they tried spending so much money on getting people to buy figures, and then obviously
And then
it
they
being
killed it.
Disney, it gets killed. Just such a shame, because the figures are beautiful. They're
Oh
actually
man.
really, really nice models.
Fraud detection
And
warning.
there's so many of the other
Detection
like
warning.
Marvel characters that would be awesome to actually have as like the little models of. Oh, oh, deserve that!
Detection averted.
But yeah, he really likes Urban Trials Freestyle. He likes watching me fail miserably on that. What else? Oh, we've been playing some of like the older school style games. So there's like Bomb Busters, which is basically Bomberman. We've been playing Windjammers yesterday because he wanted to
man.
see what that was.
What
That's
what
so
a
good.
game.
It's such a
We
good
should
game.
play that sometime, man, because it's like, it's hard. I've been struggling to find online matches recently.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know
well
whether-
definitely.
I think that game is incredible. And, like, the sequel was supposed to be out last year. I don't know whether it was delayed or anything, or they came out and I just didn't hear.
I don't think it's been released yet,
Right.
because I know there's a physical version coming through Limited Run Games. Oh, I did manage to grab the very rare variant of Metal Slug 3 for the Vita, so I now still have a complete, North American currently released Vita collection now. So full Europe, full Vita, because the last one for Europe was the Vasara collection, so the old style shoot 'em ups, and I ordered that I think back in June last year, and that's finally been delivered. So full Europe collection now, full American collection. I've missed 2 Japanese Play Asia ones now, which I'm a bit annoyed about, but I didn't have the money, so there's not anything I could do about that. So I'll pick them up at some point. Hopefully they won't get crazy priced. Ow. But yeah, so I'm quite chuffed that my Vita collection's all sorted, but I've got to work out where it's going to go when we move Nathaniel into the spare room. And also have to explain to the missus why there's so many games there, because I don't think she quite realises how many I've bought. So she's probably going to kill me, so it might not be coronavirus that kills me, it might be the missus.
You might have to like convert the loft or something.
Well, that would be lovely. That would be ideal if we were able to do that. But yeah, it's not going to happen anytime soon. But yeah, we've talked about converting the loft and turning it into a little like gaming paradise, playroom come spare room come gaming paradise. But yeah, it's not something we've got the money for. But if we ever did, then yeah, I suppose now's the time to borrow at 0.1% interest rate.
That's true.
Yeah, not that you could get anyone to come and do it, because the chances are if they came, they might end up being in permanent lockdown. At least they get the loft finished. They wouldn't be allowed to leave. I'm going to go with Eskill again, because I liked him.
I couldn't get on with him at all, but he seemed to do pretty well.
Yeah, you seem to struggle. I don't know if it's because I was using the YOLO gem and it made his kick seem to be a bit better.
Maybe.
Yeah, the intricacies of this are definitely different from any of the other fighting games we've played.
Yeah.
I'm not having to try and work out if I'm doing my fireball properly or if I'm getting my spacing right for my moves. It's definitely more. I'm just pressing buttons and hoping I kick you. I don't get kicked in the face.
That's ultimately a good thing though, right? I think making fighting games more accessible.
Yeah.
Because like making them incredibly impenetrable, I find there's a bit of a, like, on the whole, fighting games
snobbery.
Pretty cool, right? Like there's an element of snobbery, but also like an element of like gatekeeping as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Which I really don't like. Like a good fighting game should be easy to pick up but hard to master.
Yes.
And too many fighting games are hard to pick up and hard to master. Which is why I was all for like the stuff that like ArcSys and companies like that have done with their fighting games, and like putting in like auto combo modes and things like that, and making the combos easy to pick up. Like there's a hell of a lot of depth. Like so much. Hey, it's the first fraud.
Fraud detected.
Yeah, like there's a hell of a lot of depth in there, like way more like systems on systems and whatnot than there is in like a Capcom sort of fighting game. But the barrier of entry is so much lower. It's just so much more welcoming to people who aren't as experienced with fighting games. So
Your feet will burn.
yeah, games like this and that one you were mentioning earlier, like it got on a YouTube video I watched. I can't remember what it was called, but it was like having all of the fundamentals of a fighting game.
Stance or something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly. I'll have to look it up. But it's stuff like that. I'm all for it. For it.
Fighting games should be fun.
But it opens up to a larger market as well, so they stop being like a really niche thing, because they kind of are. Like everybody's heard of, Street Fighter and Tekken and whatnot, and like they get decent sales, but they're never going to get the audience that they probably deserve unless they start being more welcoming. And like, You hear that happening more and more with fighting games. Like Grand Blue Fantasy Versus looks like it's quite welcoming, like an entry-level point for new players, but then there's like a decent level of intricacy in there as well. And they've talked, Access have talked a lot about how the new Guilty Gear will be a lot more accessible, which has upset people. But it's like it's still going to have all the the complicatedness of previous Guilty Gears. It's just going to be easy for people to get into.
I think the issue people have is that they've invested so much time in how the game functions. If you're like a professional or semi-professional player, you rely on some consistency, and if you change certain things, it means what you've learned is kind of useless. Which is why
I'm playing the old one.
That's true. But that's why things like Street Fighter and Tekken, most of the basics kind of stay in there. So if you've invested years in playing Tekken, you can pick a character up and a lot of their combos are still the same, a lot of their moves are still the same. Same with Street Fighter, I'm expecting to a greater or lesser extent, probably a lesser extent with Street Fighter 5.
Probably, I mean, like, chatting to one of my friends who watches a lot of Street Fighter tournaments and stuff. So, like, there are a lot of players, and obviously there's a lot of like the big name Street Fighter players who were playing Street Fighter 4 Alpha and then moved over to Street Fighter 5. But then there's a lot of people who don't want to play Street Fighter 5 and they stick with Street Fighter 4. And there's going to probably be the same with the new Guilty Gear. There'll be people who only won't pick it up. They'll carry on playing Xrd. They don't want to play the new one. And that's fine. It's even like Smash Brothers. There are still, I mean, it's probably even worse than the Smash Brothers community. There are still people who will only play Melee. Is it Melee or Brawl? I think it was Melee. From like the GameCube era. Like they refuse to move on and play with the new ones because it's not their Smash. I'm like, fine, I get it, but...
Oh, I thought I'd got you!
Hit the sole of your foot. Thought there could have been a double on there, but... oh, nice.
Definitely got you that time.
Yeah, the fighting game community can be a bit weird.
Yeah, it's very cliquey. I'm curious because Tekken's latest character comes out next week, so...
Do you know who it is yet?
Yeah, Fukushima or something like that. It's a big, like, whoa!
Power station.
He's a
big nuclear power station.
Yeah, it's not Fukushima, but yeah. He's like a, like Thai boxer, but he's enormous. He's a big bugger. And he looks really, really powerful. Leroy's brought a lot of controversy because he's supposed to be too easy to use as a character and everybody's using him, but that tends to happen. If a new character comes in, people will all start, Jesus Christ, my head! We'll all start using him.
Oh, nice.
We'll all start using him and then they'll nerf and buff other characters, and then people will go back to their other characters. So I think that's kind of likely. It's going to be a shame there's going to be no real Tekken World Tour this year with what's going on. So
yeah, it's going to be a lot of things like that. My local fighting game group over in Northampton, they've cancelled all forthcoming meetups, but like, you know, they can still have like game nights on PSN.
Online.
So that's fine. But like, any I mean, the next Capcom World Tour is going to be due for a while because it's not that long ago since the last one. But Evo and other tournaments, all the Smash tournaments, and they're all going to be kiboshed.
Yeah. Which is necessary. I think they should be kiboshed. Come on, anyone who's ever been to any kind of conference or gaming thing. I'm not gutted that the BAFTA Game Awards isn't going to happen.
Yeah.
Because I look forward to that every year. That's kind of one of those things that's like, yeah, Game Awards. I looked at the list of nominees and was like, oh, there's again only about 3 games I know in this lot, so this could be interesting.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, it's a shame. I think there's going to be some people getting into gaming that haven't before. I think there's going to be maybe some families will start playing together. Maybe start to see like an explosion of couch co-op-y type stuff, where people have got time to potentially play with their families. That's maybe a good thing. Well, it is a good thing if people are having to spend time with their families, but having and wanting to are definitely not the same thing. Ow.
No. Well, I'm finding Animal Crossing so far is a nice little diversion from the horrors of the outside world. You know, it's just like my own little personal island paradise to escape to when the news of what's going on gets a little bit too much.
Yeah, I'm having to kind of limit my news to around once a day because rolling coverage. It's quite funny because the rolling coverage on like BBC has been killed off because they're being sensible and they're not having like all the reporters kind of doing stuff. I'm now starting to see stuff being repeated a lot more. So it does feel like it's becoming almost like public service broadcast of this is what you need to look out for. This is what the situation is, which is kind of a bit propaganda-y.
Well,
it's helpful, but a bit propaganda-y.
Well, it kind of like corresponded, I guess, with like the beginning of this whole thing going off. Was I started listening to, because I was getting fed up with like Radio 5 and LBC and other like talk radio sort of things. So I started listening to the BBC World Service, and obviously because this is a global thing, there's a lot of what they're talking about on the World Service at the moment is to do with this, but they're covering like everything. It's global news. It's not just Anglo-centric news. But they just have like once a day. They just have a coronavirus update of like here are the raw. Ooh, nice.
That was good.
Here are like the raw facts and some tips and advice and whatnot, and then just like little things like here's some advice on your like how to like mental health well-being if you're self-isolating, things like that.
It's annoyed me that a lot of people seem to think it's a joke. That are like, well, yeah, I can get 2 weeks off work, and which is good. But those morons shouldn't actually be out and about as long as they're actually staying in, but they're not. So that's not helping. So then you've got people who are having to self-isolate, and again, for some reason they think, oh yeah, well that's great. I'm going to get 12 weeks off work. Having self-isolated for almost a year with having cancer treatment. Yeah, it's fun for the first couple of weeks, but man, you get cabin fever really, really bad.
Ooh. Yeah, I can imagine that.
I think the longest I went was 8 days straight without going out, and I'm a gamer. I'm an introvert. I like staying inside and playing games. But I got to a point where the only people I was really seeing was Catherine and Nathaniel. I had not really anything to say to them because I've not done anything. I've not interacted with anyone. I'd sat and binge-watched all of Game of Thrones, and I'd binge-watched all of The Walking Dead, and I'd watched a lot of TV, and I'd played a few games, and I'd read a little bit, listened to a lot of podcasts, but no real social interaction. And then after it, trying to socially interact was really difficult because I'd been used to kind of my own company. I'd gone from being almost germphobic because they give you a pretty serious talk about if you get symptoms of anything, it might kill you. So you need to make sure you're washing your hands. You need to make sure you're not coming in contact with someone who's even got a cold because you've got no immune system. It will kill you. And it makes you really paranoid. Alright, I need to go to the shops. Right, do I really need to go to the shops, or could I ask someone to bring me it? Alright, I'll ask someone to bring me it. And then you get to that point of, I haven't been out, I need to go. I am going to risk a cold to go to the shops. That's how bad your brain gets, is like, fuck it, I just need to go outside. And it's not pleasant. It's a hard situation, and I've got a lot of empathy for people who genuinely have conditions and are doing the right thing, and are aware of why they're doing the right thing and what the effects of if they don't do the right thing. And I know how hard it's going to be for them. Come week 2, week 3, it really starts to be difficult. And I think if you are dealing with friends or family who are in that situation, talking to them, even just sending them a message really helps. I know how much, for me, just getting a message from someone saying, oh, how are you doing, how's things going. And that's why I did like the Dress to Press X stuff, why I recorded loads of it before I ended up going in and having an operation and starting treatment, because it gave me a project to work on whilst I was isolating. So it meant, oh, I can put a couple of hours into this. Actually, I feel crap today, I'm not going to do anything. I wasn't compelled to do anything, but when I could do it, it was like, oh, this is really good. And then doing the streaming as well, just going on. Yeah, I was talking to myself, but it meant someone else could then listen at some point, and people would pop in and watch me stream. And I wasn't doing it because I thought I was going to become a world famous Twitch streamer. I was doing it to break up the insanity of being on my own.
Yeah.
And talking to myself, at least if I'm talking to myself with a purpose of, as if I'm addressing somebody else, it's less mad than just talking to yourself.
Yeah.
So, it's...
Yeah, well, we're quite lucky, I guess, of being able to... I mean, our generation, at least, having the internet there to be able to connect to other people.
Yeah.
Years past, then you'd just be stuck on your own. I'm quite fortunate. I live in the countryside. I live 2.5 miles away from where I work. And we've been told that we all work off laptops.
Right.
Plug into like a hub.
Yeah.
So you just need to unplug that and then just take the laptop home, and I can work off that. And we've been told that we can, if you can work from home, you've got the kit, then please do so. But I'm gonna continue to go into the office just because the office I work in, there's like, at the moment there's only 3 of us because one person has moved apartments and the other person's on leave at the moment. So there's only 3 of us. We don't sit that close together. And I just... Ooh, nice.
Got you with that.
I just can't... I don't want to have to face the prospect of getting up and my house being the place that I'm doing my work.
Yeah. I'm very much the idea of
separation.
Of
like work and home.
Yeah. There's a Mitchell and Webb sketch to do with, oh yeah, you're working at home, yeah. Have you got past the wanking yet? And it's quite a funny sketch, and it's kind of what I want to try and clip and get up on like Twitter or something, because it's quite apt with what a lot of people are having to do.
Yeah.
It's that I think it's going to be hard for a lot of people who have been told, yeah, you've got to work from home, but you've also got childcare to deal with, because I think people are going to realise how important teachers actually are. Because the kids can be hard work. If you've had to have a child for a whole summer holiday, it's quite fun for the first couple of weeks if you've got time off to spend with them, and you can go off and do things, you can go places, you can see other families, you can kind of break it up. It's not like that now. You cannot go off anywhere, and that's why it's important that places have been closed down, because it's too tempting for people to go, oh yeah, it's a really, really extended summer holiday, let's go spend it in the park, let's go to the seaside. That's why places like Australia, they've had to close down Bondi Beach they'll be probably doing it for most of the spring breakers in America. Most of the places in Cali where people would be going out and partying is like, no.
Yeah, and you've seen like a lot of people saying, "Oh, you can't." Like it's like Tim Martin over here being like, "You can't close the pubs." Like there's been no occurrences of virus being spread in pubs. And it's like, where is your scientific basis for saying that, you prat?
Yeah,
I hate that man.
I do
but
as
like
well.
him and the GameSpot no GameStop, sorry, GameSpot.
Yes.
GameStop being
Jeez,
told
it's an essential service.
Yeah, video games are not an essential service.
Not when they're available digitally.
Yeah.
I can understand if, like food, the place where you get food to be able to prepare it is a store. Yes, that's fine. If you can't deliver it because the deliveries are all booked up and you have to go out and get some milk or whatever, or even just some other basics, then yeah, those kinds of stores are essential.
All of these people who are making these decisions are essentially the Amityville mayor from Jaws.
Yes, the water's fine, the water's fine.
Yeah, we can't close down the beaches, it's the summer season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what we've seen going on with, oh yeah, we'll delay it as long as we can. No, you can't. You need to stop requesting people do things and start telling them.
And like order them, like both for like their own sake, because people will not take sensible advice in situations. They'll downplay it.
The sensible people will.
Nice.
The sensible people will. They will turn around and go, look, this is serious. We are going to do as we're asked here. And then other people are like, it'd be fine. It'd be fine. It doesn't affect me.
The pubs last night in London were apparently packed.
Yeah.
The night before they're being closed down and everything. Like, honestly, like, people are idiots.
Those scenes from America where everyone had come through and had basically been cattled into one spot. It's like, oh my god, the level of face palming of, what we're going to do is make sure we get everyone back and make sure they're all safe. You've just put them all it takes is one person within that environment, and you've just basically wiped every bugger out, or at least and then because you can't control or track where those people go, you've spread it everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. I am very much for freedom of speech, freedom of movement, freedom of expression and thought, but I think the state has an important role in making sure people are free to do that by telling them you cannot do it. At this time it is important, you can't move around. I think as much as I think China have made some major mistakes with this by bollocks. Thought he had you again. Oh
my god, this is so close.
God damn it! By not communicating it earlier, and they have locked down 2 months. I think those people have been in, and it's going to be interesting to see whether they've completely stopped it or whether they're going to have another couple of bumps. Because they'll go back in lockdown again. If it suddenly re-emerges, they'll go back down in lockdown.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't seem to realize. Whoa! Oh, what the? I have no idea what just happened then.
No, I don't know what that was.
We could end up in and out of lockdown, or these faux lockdowns, for the next year if it carries on like this.
Yeah, if they can't get a hold of it, if they can't, I mean, like China are reporting no more, no new cases now. I'll obviously take anything that the Chinese government reports with a massive pinch of salt, but South Korea are also reporting the same thing.
Yeah.
And
trace, track, lockdown.
Exactly, they've got a handle on the situation, and like because they took it seriously straight away, and they took the measures that were needed straight away.
Yeah,
and like other European countries are doing that as well. Like Germany have managed to get a serious handle on this. Yeah, because they took it seriously immediately. Italy and Spain didn't.
And they've
that's
also got
where
a
they're at
different. They've also got a different social environment as well, in the way that people interact, the way that
Yes.
people greet each other.
Yeah.
You've got very close proximity there. You can see what's been going on in other countries,
And
whereby
people,
people are kissing monuments and stuff.
Yeah,
It's like,
and
really?
people in Italy and Spain, that they tend to live in quite close proximity
Yes.
as well. Like a lot of, like, especially in those cities, like a lot of apartment living and like several large.
Nice move.
It's you know it's not unusual for extended families to
Yeah.
live together under the same roof. And,
Yeah.
But they also didn't get much of a grip on it, and
No.
Ooh,
Oh,
so it's oh nice.
that works.
It's gonna be an odd next. I can't even say how long it's gonna be. I have no idea.
I think if
Um,
we see dramatic rises, this is based on no actual insider knowledge or anything, purely based on my own speculation. We are going to have a more severe lockdown within 7 days if we want to try and stop chasing Italy and Spain in their rates. If we don't do something more severe in 7 days, we are in serious trouble. And
Yeah.
America aren't doing it. America are in serious trouble.
Well, they had. You see the footage of those kids going out for spring break in Miami,
Yep.
and they're like, "Oh, if I get it, I get it." And it's like, well,
You don't understand. But again, it's messaging. It's, oh yeah, we'll beat this. Oh yeah, it's not that serious. Oh yeah, it'll suddenly just disappear. No, that's not messaging you want to be sending. So yeah, it's...
yeah, Trump's
It's not- but
messaging has been terrible. Like, oh, nice.
That's the big
Nid-
monster.
That's Nidhogg, the world worm.
But yeah, it's also the fact that you've got Trump's allies that are in the 70s all playing around in like the tennis courts and stuff. They're all like, oh yeah, it'll be fine, we're absolutely fine. And then you've also got the celebrities that are all like, oh, it's so hard self-isolating in my multi-million-pound mansion. Oh, I don't know how I'm going to cope. Oh, do fuck off. Really, do fuck off.
But then Trump was like at the beginning saying, "Hey, it's nothing. It's just the flu. Like, most all people die from seasonal flu. Like, you're gonna get better. Just if you got it, just go to work and whatnot." And now he's been like, "Hey, no, I was taking it serious from the beginning.
Yeah, right from
like,
the
so I've always known it was serious." And
Well, didn't someone at work said that Trump said more people people are dying who have never died before? If
Yes.
that is an amazing statement.
Yeah.
That is an absolutely amazing statement. More people have died than have died before. People who have died. No, I can't remember what it was. But the idea that people who haven't died are now dying. Yes, that's right. Because that's what happens to people who are living that become ill. They die. Jesus.
And without getting too much into the weeds of American party politics, because I could rant about it for ages. But like the Republicans, who are the right-wing party, are introducing these large-scale measures to protect mortgage holders to like rent and bring in like
money
like,
straight into people's pockets so that the economy doesn't
basically,
collapse.
Yeah, universal basic income and things like that. And the democratic establishment, like the people at the top of the supposed left-wing party in America, are like, well, hang on, let's calm down a little bit. Maybe we should means test some of this. And it's like, what is happening in the world?
It's all upside down, isn't it? Oh, it's crazy. It does make me realise that money is completely irrelevant. That you can kind of go, you know what, we're just going to pay 80% of people's wages. Oh, okay. Okay, because they can't work, because we're telling them they can't work.
Yeah, but
that
also
works.
it's like paying 80% of people's wages is also like, oh great, can I also pay like 80% of my that I would normally pay for my food? Can I pay 80% of my rent? Can I only pay 80% of my electricity bill?
Yeah.
It's like pay them the full wages.
Yeah. Or pay them an amount that is enough for them to sustain themselves. It's made there's obviously some realisation coming from what's happened within our public services over the last 2 decades, and shot and a half. I think there's going to be a hell of a reckoning afterwards, and there's going to be a lot of clearing up that needs to be done. A hell of a lot of clearing up that needs to be done.
Well, this could be this could be the straw that breaks the camel's back when it comes to sort of like free market capitalist society.
Yeah. Well, this has got to all be paid for at some point. This, yes, we may be getting a blank check, but someone's got to pay for it, and there's lots of people hoarding money, and they are going to have to pay for it. If you'd have actually paid for it in the initial part, we wouldn't be in this situation. I'm sorry, you're going to be paying.
Have you seen the Amazon thing?
Huh?
So Amazon have set up a relief fund for its employees affected by this, and they're asking people to donate to it.
Oh, you are kidding me. You
Amazon
are
as a
fucking kidding
company
me.
is worth nearly $1 trillion.
And are profiting from what's going on.
In America last year, they're profiting from what's going on at the moment. Last year in America, they paid an effective negative income tax rate because they didn't pay any tax, but got tax relief.
That's it. They get tax relief for bringing their headquarters and their warehouses to different areas and different states bid over whether they're going to come and... Oh, that's just crazy.
So they get government grants and stuff like that. And Jeff Bezos he's got to be like the richest man in the world at this point. But they're asking us schmoes to help pay for their staff's wages in this time.
Yep.
Get fucked.
Yeah. There are going to be a lot of businesses that are going to cease to be, because people are going to get wise and go, what did you do during this? Where were you during this? If you've not stepped up, you are gone. Bloomberg, what Bloomberg's done, he's just laid off all of his staff that was supposed to definitely be employed up to November regardless. They've all just been laid off. Without any sick pay, without any redundancy, just laid off. During a pandemic, it's like... And you were supposed to be a Democrat, you were supposed to be looking for social reforms and
he's
changing
giving away
things.
$1 million to help with the coronavirus thing. Which
$1 million. He spent 500 million on his advertising. Yeah, 500 million on his advertising campaign.
And he won American Samoa. That was the only primary he won. He spent $500 million on that. But he's only spending $1 million on this global pandemic. And like Richard Branson being like, oh, the government needs to bail out my airliner company. I'm also making my staff take 8 weeks of unpaid leave. But I own my own private island in the Caribbean.
Yep.
I mean, there are some people who are doing some good things, like...
There's the footballer who's basically said his hotels are free for NHS staff.
Yeah, Gary Neville.
Yeah, that's great.
Hotels closed down and he's opening them up for NHS staff to go and be able to like sleep there during the crisis. Martin Lewis, who he just seems like a genuinely nice guy anyway. Like he's
the money supermarket bloke.
Or money saving expert or one of those two, and he sold it for a lot of money, but then hasn't like sat back and enjoyed his riches. He spends his time telling people, educating people on their finances and how to better run their finances, and he's donated £1 million of it. And he's not like a multi-billionaire, he's a very rich man, don't get me wrong, but he's just donated £1 million of it, of his money, straight away into a fund to donate to charities that are helping with the coronavirus situation. He's spending his...
Shots. it annoyed me when Gary Barlow and Ronan Keating did some kind of music thing together, and I'm like, that's not what we needed, mate. If you'd have actually not been involved in dodgy tax dealings previously, there would have been money coming into the system.
Yeah.
If we hadn't have forced all of our supermarkets to kind of migrate outwards and caused a lot of like the high street stores to close because Amazon decided to dominate everything, we would have more places available for people to be able to buy, so they're not all congregating in one supermarket fighting over a can of beans. If we'd have actually, oh god damn it, done some better controls, we wouldn't be in this situation. And I know it's easy to say this with hindsight, but a lot of people have seen this coming for a long time and seen what effects. The fact of we're now looking to bring back NHS staff that have retired, and I'm sure it won't just be the NHS, I'm sure it'll be other public sectors that will be looking to get their staff who've been involved in various roles to step back into the fray. These are people who've done their time, they've retired, they've put their time in, and they've earned their pensions, and now they're, well, a lot of them will have earned their pensions. I'm not saying everyone will have, but the ones who are coming back probably will have earned their pensions if they're willing to step up, especially as they're potentially in at-risk categories.
That's
Like,
the ridiculous thing.
going
It's like
on there?
Bringing back health staff to try and help out with the situation, who themselves are going to be in a higher risk category is just, it's bonkers, and it's and then it's because we haven't trained enough nurses over the last 10 years, and the government's been actively encouraging people to not emigrate here, and so we don't have the same level of staff coming in from outside. It's the whole situation is.
We've also charged people to become vocational workers. We've said you have to pay to become a vocational worker. You want to be a teacher, yeah, you'll be left with student debt at the end of it. You want to be a nurse, yeah, you'll work long hours and you'll be left with student debt at the end of it. You want to train to be a doctor, yeah, it's going to take you a long time. Why are these necessary vocations not paid for, and then under the proviso that you make sure you serve, like you would do an apprenticeship, a certain amount of time with that organisation so that it equivalently writes off your debt? If you then want to go, or if you want to be headhunted, then whoever headhunts you, if it's a private company, has to pay off all of your student loan debt and the equivalent interest as if you had been paying it back over 5 years. That's how it should work. That way.
That's how it works in like local authorities. So if you say you take a job with a local authority, like it's happened to one of my friends who moved into environmental health. So he was trained to become an environmental health officer, and as part of that, we needed to do another degree. And the local authority would pay for the degree, but there was also an understanding that he would continue to work for that local authority once he'd got the degree for a certain amount of time. And the same as like, I at some point will need to do a master's in planning policy.
Yep.
And the local authority will pay for that, but there'll be obviously an understanding that I then stay with the local authority after that point because they paid to train me. Yeah. And it would be pretty shitty if I was then to leave and go to the private sector.
But you're working with an environment you're choosing to work in. You're not looking to go off and get rich from your training being paid for.
No, not at all.
These are roles that are essential roles that require you to have a certain level of knowledge, and you want to retain people like that. You want to invest in them so that they invest back in the system. You don't want to just go, oh yeah, well, you've paid for it, and you're going to have to pay it all back. You've been lent this money, you're going to have to pay it all back, because people are just going to leave. They're going to go, well, actually, I can go and earn more in the private sector. I'll go and earn more in the private sector. Screw you. At least then I can afford to pay my loans back off. I can afford to actually start to save to buy a house. Ooh. Oh my god! That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I'm very much for the idea of people do want to do good. I'm hoping that it changes the idea of celebrity and makes people realise that actually some people need to do jobs. The fact of this list of key workers, that delivery drivers and people working within food are essential, people maintaining your utilities and your telecoms are essential workers. It's like, yes, they bloody are. Your teachers are essential workers. Yes, they are. It's that they've tried it at times with teaching where they've gone, if you want to teach English or maths, we need English and maths teachers. We will pay for your learning and we will pay you a bursary. You won't have to pay student loans. I went to university with people who, at that time, because I went the last year where the first year loans were introduced, but it was half loans, half grants. So I didn't end up with a full student loan at the end of it because I wouldn't have gone. And the reason I went to uni was because I knew full well if I didn't go at that point where I was going to walk out with debt, but I wasn't going to walk out with a huge amount of debt, I probably wouldn't have gone to uni.
Yeah.
So we need to invest in people. We need to encourage people. We need to stop platforming morons. Stop allowing people who don't know anything. Right? It's not always we have to have a balanced argument. If the argument is nonsense, you don't need to balance it. If the argument is this is what is based on facts, you don't need to balance it by having someone who speaks nonsense.
Oh, but that's been going on for years, hasn't it? Like,
no, but it needs to stop. We are sick of experts.
We've been saying it for years.
Oh yeah, your experts seem to be bailing you the fuck out now. Will someone please start listening to them?
Yeah, it's like the whole, like, here is a scientist, a climate scientist, to talk about climate change, and here for the benefit of, like, I don't know what the hell that was.
I threw my 2-button pad down and you're bouncing on my buttons.
Oh, nice. Yeah, like, here's a climatologist to talk about the climate change crisis, and here, for the interest of balance, is a climate change denier to spout some nonsense.
Yeah.
Like, the BBC has been absolutely terrible for that.
Awful.
Hopefully this whole situation will be like, hey, do you know what? Probably a good idea to listen to the experts. They spent a long time training the experts. They know what they're talking about.
They're not called experts for nothing. They have actually put the time in. They have spent time doing crappy work, crappy at times statistical analysis, which God I hate. To actually be able to say this is what the situation is, this is a prediction of what might happen, and give scenarios of not well, it might happen. No, we're all going to be fine. Ah, Jesus.
And I'm glad to see that there's like a massive pushback against the sort of like celebrity nonsense as well. Like former Israeli Defense Force member Gail Godot and her friends singing Imagine on Twitter, and everyone's like, get fucked.
Yeah.
No one wants to hear this nonsense. And then
Did you see Hugo Boss's version? Joe Lycett, did you see his version?
No, I didn't. I'll have to check that out.
Go and have a look. It's comedians proper taking the piss.
And then there was the news the other day that Bono's written a song for all of those Italians that are in isolation, and everyone on Twitch is like, come on, man, they've suffered enough.
Yeah. Is he going to push it to their funds to really push them over the edge?
Yeah. That's been one of
nice dodge.
No, I don't like this guy.
Gotcha.
Oh, nice. Yeah, this has been one of the nice stories that come out of this. Is seeing like the people in parts of Italy stranded in their apartments, but like all out on the balcony singing together.
Yeah, people doing like fitness regimes and stuff.
Yeah,
it's the fact that we're seeing it in this country. We've got taxi drivers that are going, well, I've got no passengers, I might as well do food deliveries. I'll see if I can help people out. The fact that people are now putting like coloured coded cards in the windows to kind of indicate that that everything's okay, that they're on green, and if that changes, then obviously maybe give them a knock and see if there's any help. I would rather that than see X's marked on buildings with numbers on it, because that's never a good sign.
No. There was a government briefing this morning, and they were talking about saying how like there's like the capacity for food experts and delivery drivers who would ordinarily be servicing like pubs and restaurants and things like that will now have capacity to do more deliveries. And supermarkets are having like big employment drives. Like Morrison's are hiring like 3,500 people. Lidl or Aldi, one of those two, is hiring like 9,000 new staff to help deal with this situation. But then, as someone points out, it's like as we get into the sort of spring and summer periods.
Yep.
Sorry if we take a quick cigarette.
Yeah, go for it. Let's just back out.
Sure it will. When you hit there, oh yeah, you can hit start and exit.
Good move.
Yeah, as we move into the spring and summer period, we're going to have a serious problem of there not being the seasonal workers, because for the last few years they've been told that they're not wanted, don't come, they're not skilled workers, so they can't come here to pick the fruit and vegetables that we need to get through this crisis.
You also have to bear in mind a lot of our country is still flooded. So a lot of our country, you can't grow anything.
No, because it's basically, it started raining in October and hasn't really stopped.
Yeah. It's been impressive. If the Four Horsemen were to turn up tomorrow, I would go, well, that explains everything then. We've had massive wars in Syria, we've had the floods, the wind and weather, and now we've got pestilence. We've now got a virus running rampant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, you had all the locusts as well in Africa. That was absolutely crazy. It's like, yeah, the Four Horsemen could turn up. I'm like, well, you're a bit late, aren't you? I was expecting you a while ago. The forbearance has been coming for a while.
Yeah, it does feel like that, doesn't it? It's like chatting to. I mean, obviously, we didn't. If you talk to people in America, it's like we haven't seen anything like this since September the 11th.
Yeah,
which is probably like the last comparable sort of situation. But even then, that was very localized. It wasn't happening in all 50 states. No. There, but
the only major international thing that happened there was the planes being stopped, grounding all the planes, and the stock market going into freefall.
Yeah, but like here we've had. I was talking to people at work who are old enough to have lived through.
Like dustbin strikes, miners strikes,
and like the 3-day week.
There's all the utilities and stuff, weren't they?
Yeah, the people who lived through that, and they said that like even that wasn't quite like this.
We've got very, very few people who'll be alive that remember what it was like to go through the war, what it was like to. We can consider ourselves pretty lucky that yes, we may potentially be having to be isolated and we may be struggling for food, but we're not being bombed at the same bloody time. We're not sending all of our young out of the country to war to go and die. No. What we're doing is going out and partying to the pub and bringing it back and killing all our old people and our at-risk people. Brilliant. That's a great way of doing things.
Yeah. There's been a spate of a lot of people whose opinions nobody should ever listen to at all, saying absolute prats like Nick Ferrara and LBC and Godfrey Bloom, that former UKIP MEP, saying things like, well, they didn't close the pubs and the theatres and the restaurants and whatnot during the Blitz. It's like, yeah, but you can't catch the Blitz. The Blitz isn't a virus.
Yeah, if you're stupid enough to go to a pub during bombs dropping, that's on you. That's absolutely on you. But if you're stupid enough,
take it home with you.
Exactly. That's your stupidity in that building being levelled. That's the end of your stupidity. You're not taking that stupidity anywhere else. It literally ends.
you die there and then, and that's the end of it. You don't take that stupidity home
No.
and spread it around.
This is annoying. If it was a virus of stupidity, I would actually be going, yeah, you go for it. But it's not. It's a virus that is being spread through stupidity, and through ignorance, and through selfishness. It's Jesus. It's
going to have like an interesting impact. Like we talked quite a lot about this on the recent Lapse Game Radio podcast about like the impact this is going to have on the games industry. Because obviously, like already, that lots of games conferences have been cancelled because the biggest casualty being E3, EGX Res has been pushed back into the summer. I don't think it'll happen then either.
No, I don't.
Tokyo Game Show obviously probably won't happen. Paris Games Week, Gamescom probably this is still happening, won't happen either. And like what impact this will have on supply chains for the holiday season later this year for when the new consoles are supposed to come out.
I wouldn't expect the new consoles because you've had mass production shut down in China, South Korea.
Which is where all the components are made.
You are not going to see. I would be shocked if those consoles come out, and if they do, who's got any money to buy them? You've just had loads of people made unemployed. Yes, you're going to have a lot of people backfilling from the service industry into the retail supply industry. You're going to have potentially a lot of IT people being backfilled into admin roles. Because all of those roles are going to end up having to be opened up to get people in, to get things going again. But there's a lot of people who are not going to have money at the end of this. There is not going to be money for a new console. It's just simply not.
And like, it's probably going to have an impact on. I would not be surprised to start seeing lots and lots of games that were going to be coming out. I mean, obviously, like the summer period is sort of like a drought for games. And like, it seems like Naughty Dog are going ahead and crunching the hell out of their employees, regardless, to make sure that Last of Us 2 comes out. But Bungie, they're based up in Seattle. Or near Seattle, which is like one of the hotspots in America. They've sent staff home to work from home. Lots of other game studios, I think, are going to be like their staff working remotely, and it's going to lead to a lot of delays on those games as well. I know in the grand scheme of things, the effect on the games industry is not important, but
what might be interesting on the entertainment industry in general is that people actually realise how much content we've got
already.
There is so many games, so many games, and it might make people actually go, I'm not going to buy anything. I can't afford to buy anything. I've got a huge backlog of stuff. I'm going to crack through that. Or I've got Netflix, and I've spent my time spinning through, going, I might watch that. I might watch. You know what? I'm just going to sit and watch it. I'm just going to actually go and watch through this. Oh, what's that old series from the 90s that I've heard about? Oh, let's go and watch that. And it might make people actually go back, I really fancy some old films. Let's go and watch some old films. Disney are going to probably go like gangbusters when Disney Plus launches. I think that'll do very, very well. It's going to be interesting to see the companies that come out of this with a lot of money in their pocket. Obviously, Disney, because their parks have all closed, they're going to have lost money there. They're going to have lost money because of merchandise. But they're going to do gangbusters in having streaming services. Amazon are... I hate to think how much money they're raking. All the supermarkets are obviously raking a lot of money. But other things that are going to be dead. Theatres, pubs, restaurants, are they going to be able to get back on their feet? Are we going to have this massive party where everyone goes, yes, it's finally gone? No. I think we're stuck with this for a while now. We've not acted quick enough. I think potentially social distancing for another year, which makes work very, very difficult if you're all having to social distance. Massive issues with your health service all being burnt out, because that's what's going to happen, or potentially dead. You're going to see that over a lot of other public sector type stuff, where care workers ended up being burnt out. You've got a massive group of kids that are basically going to have lost a year of their education.
Yeah.
And regardless of, we'll all homeschool and it'll all be brilliant, it's not always practical and it's not easy.
The effects on the entertainment industry in particular is going to be very, very difficult, because like in a lot of like office space, like where our economy is mainly like services.
Yeah.
We don't really make that much stuff here. So people can, if they have the equipment and they have the resources, they can work from home.
Yeah.
But just to take the entertainment industry as one little slice, like theatres, obviously they're being massively hit.
Yeah.
The entire like stand-up comedy scene.
Yeah.
What's going to happen with that? Musicians and artists may be able to go into the recording studio and put out new material, but they can't go on tour. I've got a couple of friends who work. One of them is a cameraman, and the other one is an assistant DP, and they're both sort of like self-employed.
Yeah.
As most people are in the film industry, like you work contract to contract. And if the work's drying up there, Netflix and BBC and all these companies have started saying like they've ceased production on shows at the moment. What happens to that staff? And so I was kind of like a bit torn when I saw that Netflix said they were ceasing production on all of their shows. It's like, well, on one hand I can finally catch up on the massive backlog, but on the other hand, all the people that work in those industries are kind of screwed. Yeah. For the foreseeable.
Yeah. And it could be a long foreseeable future. It might not be. I do not think we're talking 12 weeks and we're done and dusted with this. No way.
I think the only people who are going to do okay out of this are
the people who've shorted the pound. I bet they're doing fucking fantastic.
Oh, yeah. They're going to do great. But I mean,
the American senator that sold all his stocks over 29 transactions. That's impressive. Whilst telling everyone nothing to worry about. Jesus.
Streamers are going to do all right, because
it's been funny watching watching most of the comedy stuff of that it's ended up becoming like watching a YouTube streamer, because they're used to playing to like a live audience. I watch like The Daily Show. I watch John Oliver on what's it called?
HBO. Last Week Tonight.
That's it. Last Week Tonight. His episode this week was just bizarre, and I'm like, it's like watching a YouTuber. It's like watching someone who's just sitting there talking and just. They don't know if their stuff's landing, they don't know if it's that funny, but these people are professionals and generally what they're doing is very funny. But it's weird. Bill Maher, his show where it was just him and like his 4 guests, it's like, it's weird. The last leg last night, it's just very strange, very, very strange. It's a weird world. I'm wondering if a lot of YouTubers will do alright out of it, or whether they will get really, really burnt out by it. Because it's alright doing stuff, but you're not then doing anything else. Right, so let me get your invite through. Where's it gone?
In their normal shtick, but in an empty arena, and it was like a dress rehearsal sort of thing. Yeah, it's going to be.
Oh, we've been bloody close. Good look to the stats. Didn't realise how close we were.
Oh wow!
Wow, I didn't realise how close we'd been. Oh, I'm on the other side now. That's a good idea. They're having to swap sides. Not that it makes a vast amount of difference when you've still only got 2 buttons.
Yeah.
Your equation is solved.
Yeah. It's nice seeing that the environment's kind of coming back. The fact of if we have a year of very limited plane travel, is it going to make a really big difference?
Possibly, although already like the pollution coming out of China is already starting to ramp up again as they come out of their period, but like it may make a difference.
But China at least being sensible and investing in alternative methods, like alternative energy, rather than just relying on fuel because they know it's not sustainable. As much as they're deemed to be, they are technically the West polluters. Australia are the West for production of coal. So it's going to be interesting to see if we see any massive step changes in environmental awareness when we see pictures of like Venice canals teeming with fish. But who knew?
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of. I feel fairly secure in working in the public sector because the work that we do has to continue regardless.
Yes, I'm the same. I'm not going to be out of work anytime soon,
No.
and that was something that was potentially coming. We were looking at potential redundancy within the next 2 years. So I'm certainly not going to be out of work. I'm probably going to make a lot of new friends. Or new acquaintances as people are having to be recruited into work within that environment, which might actually be of benefit because it might mean I end up networking and meeting people that I would never have met and end up maybe going off and doing something else.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm certainly curious. I'm trying to remain optimistic. It's so difficult though.
It is. It's just it's unknown territory because none of us have lived through anything like this.
Yeah,
It's hard to know how it's
I'd be
going to go.
interested to speak to. Obviously, we can't really speak to people who've lived through a war and lived through large periods of rationing and stuff like that. Of how you kind of get through something like this and.
I mean, like the last situation like this really would have been the Spanish flu, and that was like 102 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, that was signalled to you for a long time, and you still went into it. Oh, you can change direction with that. Oh, like that. Oh, okay, she's got like a hover. Oh no, jump back into it! Oh, that was foolish. I'm not enjoying the dog whistling that's coming from America. That's really winding me up.
Oh, the China virus.
Chinese virus, Jesus Christ. And the lack of responsibility, which was always going to happen with Trump.
Oh, nice. I have a horrible feeling that he's going to use this whole situation, if it continues, to not have an election this year.
Yeah. Which I can kind of understand, but I think he would only be allowed to remain in power for a while. I don't think Boris is going to be able to resign. I think he probably wants to every morning he wakes up. I think he probably thinks, oh Christ, what crap am I going to have to deal with now? I don't think he has some kind of Winston Churchill delusion going on. And you have to be an orator, and he isn't one. I think, for one thing about Boris, he did say, people are going to die, you are going to lose people. That's the most honest thing I've heard him say in years.
Yeah.
But he didn't act quickly enough, it's not decisive, it's very wishy-washy. And that's what costs lives. If you're in that position, you have to make decisions, and most of the time they have to be less worse decisions.
Yeah.
There's no good answer, but there's a slightly less bad answer.
And he's picked like the worst answer in every turn, it seems.
But he at least the people that are speaking for him are people who have knowledge. He looks out of his depth so many times when he's being asked questions. It just looks so out of his depth with it, and you're like...
It's like... for so long, all he's been able to rely on is like his whole bumbling comedic shtick. Either that or like, hey, I can recite the Iliad in ancient Greek.
Yeah.
Like, that's no good. No, like, that's not going to help anyone.
Nope.
And like, he's little stupid things that he does, like people talking about like the shortage of the respirators that people are going to need, and so he decided to. He thought, okay, I'll come up with an idea, and we'll call it Operation Last Gasp. Like,
oh, really? Is that what he called it? Oh, you are kidding me! Oh my god! Oh my god! That really puts singing like British colonial songs whilst standing near a monument in India into perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Jesus.
He's just completely oblivious.
And I haven't seen much coming from Katie Hopkins or Nigel Farage at the moment. I think they've realised that they need to keep their mouths shut.
No.
Or have I just got them nicely blocked?
Farage won't shut up. He will not shut up. He's on Twitter all the time going on saying, like, it's time that we start asking for reparations from China because they caused this whole situation. And,
really?
Yeah, and...
Jesus Christ.
I haven't seen too much from Katie Hopkins, but I tried to...
She did get banned at one point, didn't she?
She did, and then she came back. Unfortunately. But yeah, I've been trying to ignore her as much as possible. But there's no shortage of morons out there. I saw for some reason I don't know why. I have no idea why the YouTube algorithm decided that this was something that it felt that I wanted to see. But some like interview program in London, like YouTube interview program, decided to sit down with David Icke to talk about coronavirus.
Brilliant, lizard people.
Know what David Icke's got to say about
Brilliant.
it. Honestly.
Did he say it was the lizard people?
He said it, he believes that it's manufactured. Like the coronavirus is a manufactured virus. And it's all part of the New World Order's plan to, like, the cult at the top, to try and like he started doing some really disgusting things like co-opting, like terminology that that genuinely describes the situation that we live in, like co-opting terms like the 1% to talk about his idea of like the lizard people cult at the top that control everyone. And how, yeah, the man's a fucking charlatan.
Oh, Jesus. It's very easy to fall into paranoid ideas and conspiracy theories, though, because they become a nice, easy way of explaining things. And I've seen enough, like, movies to know that this is kind of how things happen. Is that you disrupt a country so badly that then you can invade them. And if you actually go down that route of thinking like that, it will drive you potty.
But who's, like, that falls down as, like, who is benefiting from it if it's affecting everyone?
Well, this is my I had to undo my brain from going down those kind of rabbit holes. Because I was like, well, I've not heard anything about Russia during all of this. I've heard what's going on.
Well.
Oh, I know. I know, because I went and had a look. I went to look for the statistics to see what was actually kind of going on. And they're building hospitals in the same way that China are. But they've been counting their deaths as respiratory infections or pneumonia. So they're not publicly stating that it's coronavirus or anything like that. So.
This is the thing, it's quite, it was kind of fortuitous for me to have finally got around to watching Chernobyl at this period.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's about, it's about what, like, what caused the meltdown at the...
not Fukushima, at the power plant, the nuclear power plant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's about what caused the meltdown and what happened afterwards.
Yeah.
But so much of that is tied up in the fact that it was a national embarrassment for the Soviet Union, and so they were desperate for this information to not get out, not just amongst like the international community, but not get out to their own people.
Yeah.
And like the fact that even when they were holding inquiries as to what caused the situation afterwards, it was a whole lot of like, we need to blame this on the people who were there at the time and not the systems that led to that were in place beforehand, that like the shortcuts and doing things on the cheap that made this a problem to start with.
Yeah. And that's what concerns me might happen now, is that, oh nice, that people are going to be scapegoated rather than responsibility being taken and improvements being made. It's just going to be scapegoating, and that kind of dog whistling and blaming the Chinese doesn't help. It's here, we've got to deal with it. If it is the Chinese, if this is some kind of experiment gone wrong or something like that, then it doesn't help. My concern is that because of by not controlling it and not tracking it, you risk further mutation of the virus.
That's already going to happen though, because like this situation comes from this virus comes from exactly the same source as other coronaviruses have before, like SARS. Like SARS, that just stands for like something acute respiratory syndrome. I can't remember what the first S stands for. And that's another coronavirus, and they come from we don't know where they come from originally, but they how they get into human population is from bats.
They're intraspecies, aren't they? And then what happens is one of them decides that, hey, I can actually infect some humans, but only the infected animal can infect humans, and then the virus mutates and goes, hey, I can infect other humans, and it goes bang 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 and runs rampant.
And they come from, because bats have a very particular immune system that means that they aren't affected by these respiratory syndromes, because there's something like bats have got...
They hang upside down, so I'll just run straight out.
No, bats have got like ridiculous immune systems, which mean that they don't get affected by them. But it also means that they're like living factories where these viruses can mutate and change, and then once they get into the human population, we haven't got the immune system to be able to deal with them. It's going to continue to happen.
Well, the other
not
issue...
anyone's fault. It's just it's nature.
Was I had to deal with someone at work saying, "Oh well, it's because of these wet markets." I went, "You do remember where Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease came from?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh yeah, but we learnt from that." I went, "We had horse in our lasagna only a few years ago. We didn't learn that much."
I know, and it's like, why is... and that was the other thing, is like, well, we need to call it the Chinese virus because that's where it came from. It's like, okay, well, why didn't we call the Spanish flu Kansas flu? Because it came from Kansas. Why don't we call AIDS the San Francisco disease because it comes from San Francisco? Why don't we call BSE like CJ? Is it CJD?
Yeah, Creutzfeldt-Jakob.
Why don't we call
Variant
that
Creutzfeldt-Jakob.
British? Like the British syndrome.
British mad cow's disease.
Because it came from here. The only reason the Spanish flu was called the Spanish flu is because the Spanish were the first people to start reporting on it. Nobody else wanted to talk about it because we're in the middle of a war. Spain happens to be a neutral country, so their reporters weren't being... their journalists weren't being censored, basically. So they were the only people who had to report on it, so that's why it ended up being called the Spanish flu. It didn't come from Spain, it came from Kansas. It's hard to do anything in this corner, isn't it?
I'm trying to swing away from it. Whoa! Whoa! What happened then?
I have no idea.
Did I just kill myself? I think
we ran out of time.
Oh, is that what it was? It was a timeout.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
imagine crazy.
That was so close.
Straight into that. Good fight. Yeah, I think especially as the climate continues to warm, unless we do something about it, it's going to be a situation that
The fact of the idea that flus would be bent out by lovely hot summer weather is a great idea when you only have something in one hemisphere that isn't currently in summer or in autumn. But when you've got it occurring in both hemispheres at the same time, you are screwed.
Yeah,
because it will flip between hemispheres at that point. It will just go backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. It's not going to be destroyed by lovely sunny weather. It's not going to happen.
The only benefit of it happening in summer, it doesn't matter anyway, because like it's happening in tropical climates as well.
Yep.
Like the only benefit you've got of it happening during the summer rather than in the winter is that there's less
strain on your health services.
There's less pre-existing strain on the health service. That's the only benefit. And that's like why there should have been measures taken immediately to try and flatten the curve, to reduce the burden on the NHS, and like
track and trace it, lock areas down, stop people passing it on.
And then when we get into the summer months, it's easier to deal with.
I think the idea of 200 to 500,000 people being killed by this in this country it terrifies me. That's going to be someone you know. That's potentially going to be one of your family members. Probably will be a colleague. Probably will be the family members of colleagues.
Fraud detection warning.
Family members of friends.
Fraud detection warning.
Round 5 Divekick.
You're running away. How are you doing the running away?
That was pressing dive and kick at the same time.
Ah, that was his ground one.
I think that's his ground super, yeah.
Oh,
good fight. Good fight.
Oh, blooming hell, we've been playing this for a good while.
Yeah. Oh, jeez, yeah.
I didn't realise how late it was.
Should a couple more matches in here, call
Yeah, I think so. It's been good fun, this. Obviously, it's been more of a chat about the current pandemic, but it's been one of those games where you can do that whilst having a chat about the pandemic.
Exactly, yeah, you need to concentrate on it quite so much.
Yeah, I
what
don't
are we going to
feel
play
like...
next, then?
I don't know. Are we going to go back and revisit? Or, because you haven't got Soul Calibur yet, have you?
No, I mean, let me have a look and see how much, because it's payday for me on Friday. I can have a look and see how much I can get it for. But I'll have to factor in the fact that if I am going to pick it up, I'm going to instantly want to buy 2B for it as well. I don't really care about any other DLC characters, but I want to play with 2B because I love Nier Automata.
I've got money to buy the season pass. I'm very, very tempted to do that. Oh, jumped into that. Oh, he's getting his big head.
Yeah. Oh. I'll have to send you a clip. It was a few years ago. It's like 2014 or something like that. Oh, nice. And it's back when not long after Divekick first came out, and it was GDC or something like that event, and like they were having like guests coming in and out of the Giant Bomb studio,
Right.
and it's Dave Lang, the CEO of well, he's not the CEO anymore, he's the president now, and Adam Boyes used to be at Sony, is now the CEO of Iron Galaxy. It's like a very, very drunk Dave Lang, and then John Vinocchi, who was also a alumni from oh shit, I want to get away from that, Midway, and then Ed Boon.
Alright, yeah.
All on the sofa together, and then I can't remember the guy's name, he's the yeah, timed it out nicely.
Oh, you won it because you were closest to the line. I wondered what that line meant.
I guess that's what it was. Yeah, and then the guy who's behind.
Oh, nice.
What's the Cards Against Humanity? And they're all just like chatting about fighting games.
Nice.
But Dave Lang's absolutely hammered, as he is at most of these events. That sort of pull that together.
Oh, I deserve that.
Wins.
We can see exactly how big his head can get. Alright, one last fight.
Okay, who am I going to go with? Who have I not really played much with? Let's go with the big
How much
beastie.
minute do I get to do?
Select your breed. Select your duds.
Old man Johnny Gap.
There's a Nintendo brawler coming out that's like indie. Oh, and it might not just be Nintendo. It's got like Guacamelee in and.
Oh yeah, it's called Brawlhalla, right?
That's it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's free to play. It's already on Xbox and PS4.
Is it? And it's a
Yeah.
free-to-play one.
It's free to play, yeah.
Wow, I
It's
didn't
like
realise
Smash.
that.
But
Yeah,
it's like, lots of characters from other games.
Well, if it's free-to-play, maybe it's worth us grabbing that. Or is it? Do you pay per character, or how does it work?
I can't remember exactly. I'll have to pick it up again. It wasn't bad. It wasn't Smash, but it wasn't. You know, it's worth checking out. I'll have a look after this and let you know. But I'm pretty sure it's. Oh, nice.
Oh, well, nicely done. Yeah, I'm interested in giving that a crack then.
Yeah.
Try the more casual kind of fighting games. Oh, bloody hell, that was nicely done.
Round 6. Kick.
It might be worth as well. I don't know how much legs will get out of it, but actually, no, never mind. It's not online. That's a shame. So I was going to recommend Nidhogg because it's got a lot of similarities to fighting games.
Yeah.
We can also do because I know it's a sports game, but it plays like a fighting game. We could do Windjammers.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it basically plays like a fighting game.
I want to get Streets of Rage 4 when it finally comes out, because I loved the Streets of Rage games, but I was a Sega fanboy, so I really loved like side-scrolling beat-em-ups, and it'd be quite nice to be able to play that as a doing fisticuffs, but not against each other in a kind of cooperative way rather than a competitive way. So I don't know when that's actually due out. I think it's up for pre-order at the moment on limited run for the physical version, but I don't know about a digital version yet. But I'd be very tempted by that. Oh, excuse me. Right, okay, let's go for one last one then, and then call it.
I could beat you with my hands. I'm used to 4. Select your gems.
Yeah, I still haven't quite worked out exactly what the best gems are or what the benefits are of them.
No. I mean, there's probably some good YouTube resources going into the minutiae of it. There is a bit more depth to it than like I think a lot of people dismissed it as just being a joke.
Yeah.
And it is a joke. It is a joke.
Oh yeah.
It's a joke fighting game made by people who understand fighting.
Yeah. It's a joke that's actually very funny and quite well put together.
Exactly.
Round 2. Kick.
Gotcha.
Oh, nice.
I was trying to bait you into that, and I missed it twice.
I don't know what that does.
There you go. Oh.
Hurry up.
Oh no!
Round 4. Kick.
Oh no.
Perfecto. Round 5. Dive kick.
Kick your hand.
It was like a taunt and you just kicked it.
Dive kick. End shot.
Oh no!
Round 7. Dive kick. Double kick.
Oh, nice!
That worked.
Round 8. Dive kick.
Oh, it kills me ability to build up if I'm stood in the gas. Stops my build up of my special.
Hurry up.
Oh no, lovely! That was a hell of a lodge.
Round 9. Dive kick.
Yes, it kills me build up up. That's quite good. That's actually quite useful.
Yeah.
That was good. I wonder what the final result was.
Will it tell us?
I don't know if we can back out.
If we go
let's
to
go
quit.
Quit, yeah. Is that gonna show us?
520.
Oh no!
that's close.
Nice. Yeah, still close, but nicely done.
Yeah. Cheers.
It came out on top
That's
on that.
some
That was
games.
good. That was
I
good.
enjoyed that.
Yeah, so
enjoyed
did
that a
I.
lot.
Yeah, it was good. It was good having a chat as well. It was good actually.
Yeah.
Trying to put the world to rights. Trying to not feel completely bonkers by what's going on, and feel that
Yeah.
I'm talking with somebody who's like-minded with regards to the situation, and yeah. Hopefully we'll be back for another one sometime soon.
Absolutely.
we may not have a choice. We may be doing it once a bloody day.
Yeah.
We're completely self-isolated. It'd be like, hey, do you fancy? Yeah, let's do that then.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But no, thank you. Sir, where can people find you, Mark?
They can find me on Twitter at Basement Shacks, and you can find Lapsed Gamer Radio at Lapsed Gamer on Twitter as well.
And you can find me at vdjomb, trying not to scream into the void. That is Twitter at the moment. And occasionally jumping on and doing a stream now and again. Yeah, it's been good. I need to go back and have a look at Tekken, so I'll probably have a look at the new character and the new stage when that comes out at the end of the week. Yeah, we'll just arrange another one hopefully within the next couple of weeks, and we'll do another fortnightly fisticuffs. We'll have to decide what we're going to go with. But yeah, maybe that free-to-play brawler, since we did Dead or Alive, didn't we? That was pretty good. I think they've released more DLC for that. They're charging people to change their hair colour, aren't they, on Dead or Alive, but it's a one use only. So you pay like $1 to change the hair, and then if you want to change it to another colour, it costs you $1, but you don't retain the colour that you bought.
That's the worst.
That's just horrendous.
The worst.
So yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have to be back again soon. So thanks to anybody who joined us or has watched it at a later stage. Yeah, we'll catch you again soon. See you later.
Ta-ra.